hear from a neighbor who heard the shots fired in the Texas mass shooting, which killed 5 people, including a child. Now on News 18 Weekend Report.
But we had a few little showers and a couple thunderstorms around this afternoon as the cold front went through, and with that a lot of wind and also colder weather this evening. And the cooler weather is going to settle in for a little bit. We'll show you a little more frost in the forecast next.
And a musical performance honors a late Tippecanoe County Commissioner. Get an inside look coming up on News 18 at 11.
News 18 Weekend Report starts now. WLFI Lafayette. News from where you live.
Good evening. I'm Perry Apostolakos. Thanks for joining us. Another mass shooting has left multiple people dead. Police in Texas say a man gunned down 5 people from a nearby house after he was asked to stop firing rounds. The FBI is helping authorities in the search for the suspected gunman. Authorities also released the names of the victims. Grace White reports from Cleveland, Texas.
Authorities in Texas say a man armed with an AR-style rifle shot and killed 5 neighbors, including an 8-year-old child. All of the victims are said to be from Honduras. The San Jacinto County Sheriff says a manhunt for the 38-year-old suspect, Francisco Oropeza, continued into Saturday.
The tracking dogs from Texas Department of Corrections picked up the scent, and then they lost that scent in the water or whatever.
We will be here until we are no longer needed, to include when the subject is arrested.
The deadly violence started in the town of Cleveland, about 45 miles north of Houston, before midnight Friday. According to authorities, the family had asked the suspect to stop firing rounds just before the attack.
A gentleman stepped out of his house, said, "Hey, we're trying to keep an infant to bed," and he says it's his property. He'll do whatever he pleases on his property. The man went back in the house. Next thing they know, he's walking up the driveway with the rifle in hand.
When I heard the shooting, we were in bed, and my kids, I have 2 babies, they got scared. But we're like, well, that's normal. They're always shooting.
The sheriff said 10 people were inside the home and no one else was hurt. It's believed the suspect was intoxicated at the time and ran toward a heavily wooded forest a few miles away. Grace White for CBS News, Cleveland, Texas.
Texas has suffered several mass shootings in recent years, including last year's attack at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde and a racist attack at an El Paso Walmart in 2019. And in Newcastle, a female mental health counselor and a male inmate have been stabbed by another inmate during an attack at a private prison. The counselor was conducting a group session around 9:40 a.m. Friday with 8 male inmates at the Newcastle Correctional Facility. One of the inmates began stabbing her neck and throat area with a pointed metal object, state police said. As other inmates tried to stop the attack, one was stabbed in the chest. The wounds suffered by the counselor and the inmate were not considered life-threatening. The cause of the attack was not immediately known. And in a county northeast of Indianapolis, bodies are being stored in a freezer in a barn with a gravel floor, and employees reportedly don't have running water or proper supplies to conduct death investigations. Richard Essex reports.
I will come back here to the pole barn, I will bring the body out, and I will draw my toxicology in that pole barn without any running water, without any sharps containers, without anything.
Inside of this pole barn at the end of a street just north of downtown Anderson is the Madison County Coroner's Office freezer. The barn doesn't have a concrete floor, no sinks or proper examination table. Catherine Callahan is a nurse practitioner, until recently was the deputy coroner in Madison County. She turned the county into the Indiana Department of Labor for a number of safety violations. Her breaking point came a year ago when Elwood police officer Noah Shanavaz was murdered.
We go to remove the body from the hearse, and we get it on the gravel road, or flooring, and it's so hot the family, the honor guard, is just sweating, and they're asking, do we have any ventilation? I've got, this is the best we've got.
Officer Shanavaz was carried across the gravel floor and into a walk-in freezer. In the weeks following, Callahan raised her voice and tried to get the county commissioners to properly fund the coroner's facility. She says her concerns fell on deaf ears.
And as hurt as they were, those officers did everything. And I just couldn't do this anymore. I have been asking since we took office in January of 2021, and the only thing I get is sent to my seat.
She filed her complaint, and the state found 6 serious violations, from no running water to how contaminated laundry and needles are disposed of. If the county doesn't make the corrections, they could face a fine of $22,500. I asked Callahan if the threat of a fine will get the county to shape up.
This is what I was told by a commissioner who's no longer in seat. They are going to circle their wagons until they strangulate you, until they force you to tap out. And that's what's going to happen. This is only going to get worse.
Callahan owns and operates a medical practice, and yesterday she started as a deputy coroner in Marion County.
It is not clear yet what action the State Department of Labor will take, or if any other Indiana agencies will take action to make the Madison County Coroner's Office meet basic standards going forward. Turning now to weather, we have Storm Team 18 Chief Meteorologist Chad Evans in studio in the house with us tonight. Hey, Chad, what's it going to look like for the rest of our evening?
With getting cooler out there, we had highs today from mid-60s to as high as 71 degrees. We got to 71 at the Purdue Airport, 70 Delphi, 71 Attica, 70 Covington, Fowler, and Remington, 66 at Rochester, and 69 here at Galveston. But tonight we're running near 50 to the low 50s, but even some 40s here in our eastern counties. And you can see the scattering of some showers and a few thunderstorms we had earlier. Those have pulled away, not necessarily a lot of rain out of that. Most amounts 0.2 of an inch or less. We only had a few drops here at the station, also at my house. Now the clouds are coming back in, and we've got another wave of some rain here in Illinois. These are not storms. These are just pretty big raindrops that are showing up on the radar. This comes through over the next several hours. And then behind that, there's a lot of cold air loft up here in Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota. That comes in tomorrow, and we're going to bubble up a lot of showers and even a couple thunder showers around once this little wave of rain comes through tonight. So there's that wave of rain. It's raining in Warren County right now, Fountain County, Benton County, all moving eastward right now. So a wave of rain for several hours, then a break and scattered stuff tomorrow afternoon. We'll show you a new futurecast next.
All right, everyone, brace yourselves. The rain is coming. And the Lafayette Master Chorale tonight presented Joseph Haydn's The Creation at St. Mary's Cathedral in downtown Lafayette. It began at 7:30 p.m., so it did miss the rain. The concert is dedicated to the memory of Nola Gentry. In opening remarks before the performance, Gentry was described as a lover of musical performance. She also served as Tippecanoe County Commissioner before her death. And 58 trees have been planted along Park Avenue in Lafayette today in honor of Arbor Day. Lafayette has made a commitment to plant 1,000 trees in the next 5 years. Lafayette Mayor Tony Rosworski says that amounts to about 250 trees a year. Tree Lafayette organized the event today with volunteers from community and Purdue University. The event began bright and early at 8:30 a.m. Lafayette has already earned the title of Tree City USA, and now it has gone global as a Tree City of the world.
But we are always looking for volunteers if people want to volunteer, but this is part of what being a community is all about.
Rosworski says events like this help with Lafayette's most recent climate action plan from late 2022. And a Mishawaka school is raising money in a unique way this year. Biger Elementary in Mishawaka had their first ever Duct Tape the Principal fundraiser this week. Yes, you heard that right. Teachers and students got the chance to tape their principal to the gym's wall. Look at that. How interesting. The school sold strips of duct tape for $1 or 6 strips for $5, and school staff took all the strips of tape and left their principal hanging, literally. The principal says it was worth it to help raise money for the students.
Biger Elementary School is a fantastic school full of wonderful students and amazing staff, and we also have a great Mishawaka parent group. And I'm so thankful that we have all these people surrounding us and making these wonderful things happen.
There were more than 1,100 pieces of tape purchased, with the fundraiser collecting more than $1,000. The money raised will go towards making events possible for the kids like Field Day and Trunk or Treat. And one Indiana couple is volunteering across state lines. 2 retirees are using their time to help tornado victims in Arkansas. Ashley Goodwin introduces us to these Good Samaritans.
So what do we have? Okay, so you got the smoky grilled chicken breast.
Julie and Butch Bauer have been married for 57 years, now in retirement, but not ready to slow down.
See you later.
They are volunteers for the Red Cross. They've come all the way from Indiana to help with relief efforts after the tornado.
Well, we're just here to give hope, and we understand what they're going through as best as we can.
They've been in Arkansas for a week now, helping distribute meals to those in need.
You can serve the rolls, maybe, and we have Cambros full of a meat of some sort, a couple vegetables, rolls, and utensils, and we box those all up.
It's something these two have been doing a while, helping those who need it most, with no plans of stopping anytime soon.
Sometimes you can get tears in your eyes. You see people that are really struggling. I'm sorry.
Okay. And you help them?
Yes. I think making them feel better.
In Little Rock, Ashley Godwin.
And coming up, folks, the clock is ticking for Americans in Sudan. Ramy Inocencio is there with details about evacuation efforts when we come back. And a full breakdown of the 10-day forecast from Storm Team 18 Chief Meteorologist Chad Evans is also coming up. The rain is on its way. What's in store for the rest of the week in just a couple of minutes. Ask if we were all right, and then
wow.
Christine asks her, like,
Hi,
what
Gabe.
happened, and she goes, oh, I thought I was stopping.
Oh. Welcome back. It's time for sports. Is that what you needed?
Right, like, you thought you were stopping, and you hit us full speed.
You're watching News 18 Weekend Report. WLFI Lafayette. News from where you live.
Welcome back. Tonight, the U.S. government is warning thousands of Americans who live in the war-torn country of Sudan that time is running out to exit safely. Several hundred Americans are already on the move, traveling 500 miles by bus from the capital, Khartoum, to the port of Sudan. From there, they will be taken by boat to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. CBS's Ramy Inocencio is there.
CBS News can confirm that those Americans fleeing Sudan boarded a convoy of 18 buses on Friday, then drove about 12 hours towards the eastern coast, all the while protected by what's called top cover, likely implying that they were protected by U.S. military drones. From there, they will then sail another 12 hours across the Red Sea to where we are here in Jeddah. This morning, we watched a ship pull into the naval port with nearly 2,000 evacuees from Sudan. That carried a mix of UN and humanitarian workers, a mix of nationalities, as well as Sudanese citizens. And they are all fleeing because Sudan's military and its strongest paramilitary force, the RSF, or Rapid Support Forces, are now in full-blown conflict, fighting each other, trying to protect their own base of power. And Sudan's civil society is now breaking down with access to food, water, hospitals, and the internet all crumbling. That ship carrying those Americans is expected to land here tomorrow.
And now, your Storm Team 18 forecast. Weather from where you live.
All right, there's that little wave of rain coming in tonight. Now you look at that and you say, Chad, there's red all over it. My goodness, this is severe weather. The radar beam is actually hitting some pretty big raindrops in this, so it's reflecting back pretty strongly. So when it rains with this kind of echo, we call it bright banding, you can usually hear it. I mean, these are pretty big drops coming down. It's not pouring, but these are just big drops hitting your roof and hitting your car top, your car windshield. Other times, it is actually the radar beam hitting giant snowflakes, or some graupel or some ice in the cloud. In this case, it's just some really big drops, but it's all moving eastward, so we've got a little rain to get through for a while. Here over the next few hours, we got some rain in Warren County, moving into Fountain County. This is all kind of working eastward. You've seen the rain right there, moderate rain in Warren County, moving right into Fountain County. It's going to keep spreading eastward, but then that pulls away and it clears out some tonight, and we drop to 42. So some sun tomorrow morning with clouds. But then a scattering of some showers and thunder showers develop and pivot in, and then perhaps a little bit more widespread shower action later on in the day. But you will notice the high tomorrow is around noon, and then it kind of levels off and falls a little bit. And when you've got winds gusting 30 to 40 with 50 degrees in the middle of the afternoon, one day from the 1st of May, that's pretty darn chilly. 48 to 56 for highs northwest to southeast tomorrow. Now on Monday, it's cooler still. It's just a scattering of showers all day. And the whole day is going to be gray, except maybe a few breaks in the clouds in our southwestern counties. But look at those highs. I mean, 48 for the high. Look at the wind. Very strong winds out of the west-northwest, gusting 38 to 47. So kind of an awful Monday. Just chilly, a lot of wind, and the showers falling. There's the rain coming in tonight. This is 1:30. There it is at 3:30. Jets out. There's your sun tomorrow morning. There are a few showers and thunder showers developing midday to early tomorrow afternoon, and then pretty widespread shower action mid to late afternoon and into tomorrow evening. Then a few more showers on Monday, off and on through the day. This is Monday morning, this is Monday afternoon, and then finally things start to relax on Tuesday. Still kind of gray Tuesday, with a couple spits of showers, but nothing big, and still quite a bit of cloudiness even on Wednesday. We may get a brief little weak disturbance that comes through Friday with a shower or two. Otherwise, after this rain that we're going to add on to what we've already had, it's a pretty dry weather pattern. Another perhaps 1/3 to maybe 6/10 of an inch of rain from whatever we get tonight to whatever we get tomorrow and Monday. 52 Tuesday, that's it after the 48 on Monday. 58 on Wednesday, hey, a 68 Thursday, some frost in the morning, and then we're in the 60s right to Saturday, and next weekend we're in the 60s, and that following week we start the week in the 60s as well. If you want 80s, they're about 3 days beyond the 10-day outlook.